Do you unconsciously and unintentionally procrastinate, obviously without even realizing? And if you do, would you like to know what to do about it? In this video, we will look at the science behind it, and obviously I will show you a very easy way what you can do about it. And of course, as always, there is a worksheet and a document, so if you would like to have it, please let me know and I'll send it to you right away. My name is Gwen and I use applied neuroscience to help you overcome procrastination. In every video, you'll get no fluff, step-by-step tools you can use right now to break the procrastination habit for good. So let's dive in and let me share my screen here with you. This is the document that I've prepared, and we will look at how you unconsciously procrastinate and how you can fix it. And let's look at the science behind it. But first, let's first look at the situation many of us face. And their situations are similar ones that maybe you've encountered. So, and I've had clients tell me that. So, for example, I don't know what happened. Suddenly I've binge watched 6 episodes of a TV show and I did not work on my research paper. Or I walked into the kitchen like a zombie and I ate the entire box of cookies or candies or anything. Or suddenly I've spent hours on social media and I did not even notice. And I think this is the key here. And I think that is really important. Nobody sits down and says, hey, I want to wreck my career by not working on my important project now because I'd much rather spend the rest of my day on social media watching Netflix. Nobody does that. We all sit down with the intention of doing our work or starting this diet or starting this exercise or working on this project. None of us says, hey, I'll stuff my face and I really want to become overweight. Nobody does that. So most of us have this intention and this goal that we want to attain. So let's look at the science behind procrastination. And I think this is very, very important to realize that. And this is, I'm probably showing that a lot. This research paper by C. Royce and Peikel is procrastination is a form of self-regulation failure. And in that self-regulation failure, we put our short-term mood repair over our long-term pursuit of our intended actions or our goals. And yes, so here, this is the paper. I'm not sure if it's open access or not, but I've underlined some things here or highlighted some things. And one of them is that their definition of procrastination, or the official one that is mostly used, is that it's a voluntary delay of an intended action despite knowing that we probably will be worse off for the delay that we're going to initiate. So what this means is that either we already are in an undesirable mood or the idea of engaging in the task causes this negative mood that we have. And this is just the CBT model based on Beck to show how this all works together. So our feelings and how we think and our behaviors, they don't act in isolation, but they all work together. And obviously how we interact and how we view the situation here. So this is just to show how it all interacts. So, but what are the things that we actually do and what are the consequences? So in that moment, we unconsciously choose to fix our current mood rather than do the action that would lead towards a goal that we have. And working towards that goal immediately would also prevent a later negative outcome. So for example, studying for an exam that would lead towards a degree, and obviously if we study now, we will not have the stress later, we won't have to study last minute, and if we study regularly, we will not get a bad grade. Or going to the gym now rather than watching Netflix and eating candy bars. And if we would go on watching Netflix, eating candy bars, obviously the chances of gaining weight or developing some kind of chronic disease way down the road obviously is also a negative outcome. Or you can just really plug in anything that you might have procrastinated in the past. So mostly we're not even aware that we made the decision to procrastinate. It just kind of happens to us, and suddenly time is gone. And we often only realize later, and which can be just a few hours later, or days, or in some cases even weeks. And so this is where, again, my whole idea of using worksheets is we just take maybe a few minutes to think about it and to analyze the things that one of the things that we've recently procrastinated. So what is something that you recently procrastinated? And again, if you would like to have that document, please let me know. I'll send it to you over Messenger or send you a link. Please do let me know. I really love worksheets, because worksheets and writing with our hand, if it's on some kind of iPad, or even if you print it, is a really helpful tool, just being reflective. So what is something that I recently procrastinated on? So one of the things I've recently procrastinated is creating the document for this video. So I'll put that here, creating document for video. So, and what things did I use to procrastinate? So just take a moment to think about what did you actually use to procrastinate? In my case, about this video, I just used the news. And I went, through all the channels, and I've spent hours reading the news, which is kind of really crazy because I cannot influence what is happening out there in the world. Then thinking back, what was the moment I unconsciously decided to procrastinate? So I sat down at my desk and I had the intention to work on this document, and I didn't. So the moment I decided was when I thought, oh, well, let me pick up my phone and let me just quickly check the outcome of this event in the news. And so I sat down on my desk, sat at desk and took phone. Okay, so what about the task that I actually want to do affects my mood negatively? So what about creating this document made me feel not so great? And that is because I'm crazily nervous about creating those type of videos. So the task is scary for me because I know a document will lead to me having to record this video. So document leads to recording, and that scares me. Okay, so if I could consciously go back and decide again, how would I decide now? Also armed with the knowledge that I have now. So obviously now I would decide to work on this document, because I wasted basically a whole afternoon reading the news. And take a moment. I know I'm really going quite fast through it because I don't want this video to be too long, but take your time and think about it, and maybe even do a few things or a few things that you've been procrastinating. And what we're doing here is we're really practicing to think about it, to go back and be reflective about the very moment when you decided, hey, I'd rather take my phone, or I'd rather, eat this, or I'd rather do this than the task that I actually wanted to do. And that's like a practice run for the worksheet that will come after that. So the key here is really to become aware of your process just before and then the moment, and obviously the moment when you decide to procrastinate. And then maybe it takes some time before you actually realize, hey, I've procrastinated, I've not done my work for the past 2-3 hours. And the next page is a worksheet that is this one, this is this one that I created for myself last week when I just realized that I'm procrastinating. And I seriously just shortly wanted to check the news. And so I made the rule for myself, because news is my kryptonite. So I made the rule that I'm allowed to read all the news online, but only after I fill in the page. So because for me, it's hard to realize the moment when I do procrastinate, but I can attach this this worksheet, this think sheet to watching the news. So I don't forbid myself to read the news, but I have to do that first. And I'll do another video on that because this is a method by BJ Fogg, and he wrote an awesome book, Tiny Habits, but he also has a really, really great, I think 11-year-old TED Talk about his method. So again, this is way I don't forbid it, and it doesn't make me feel bad. And when I fill this in, I'm way more free to make a proper decision, and hence I'm much more likely to work and create videos. And as you can see, I have completed this document, so I did not procrastinate anymore. And so yes, so let's go and break the Groundhog Day cycle together. So this is the sheet, and I hope you have it either printed out or on your iPad kind of device. And so what we do first is you think about the moment or the thing, or actually, again, because I'm doing that before I watch the news, before I turn on my phone to go on the news. So what we do is I look at what kind of emotions, what kind of moods am I just experiencing. So I'm kind of fearful. I'm definitely anxious, and I feel totally overwhelmed. So they're not always in that line. Sometimes I have one here and then somewhere else. This is just the situation now because I am recording this video, which causes me anxiety. So what do we do next? So I've marked those emotions, and there are science behind that just becoming aware and naming emotions already decreases the intensity of them. So thinking about the task that I would rather do than watch the news is I feel fearful. So let me put fearful here, fearful, and then I have anxious, anxious and overwhelmed. So I feel fearful. Why do I feel fearful? Because the idea of recording a video really scares me, because I don't know who'll watch it. I don't know what people watching it think, what my friends and family think. So because creating videos is scary. And anxious, yes, I'm anxious. So what will my friends and family say about me creating videos? Because what will and I feel overwhelmed because it feels like the whole technical aspect of it and trying to cut it, it's all like way outside of my academic comfort zone. So it is out of my comfort zone technically. Okay, so, and there's no need to trying to deal with it. We'll just let it sit like that. And so let's just sort those things into those two buckets here. So what of all that is in my control and what is not? What is in my control and what is not in my control? So the whole thing of what others say is not in my control, but how I deal with what others say, my response to people, if at all they say anything. Who will watch the video and who will not is not in my control. And the whole aspect of trying to figure out this whole technical aspect of creating video, that is in my control because that is something I can learn. Technical stuff I can learn. Okay, and then again, what people think about the video is outside my control. So you see, it's just sorting those things, and the whole idea is that we focus on the things that are in our control, and because it's outside our control, we don't worry about it. And just doing this before going on to the news is the one thing that helps me to break the cycle, just because I take the whole unconscious aspect of this procrastination habit and I make it conscious, and I become aware of those underlying moods, and I name them and I dissect them and I spend time on it, and that kind of dissolves the whole thing. Of course, it doesn't make me less scared, but when I'm aware of it, I can choose that despite being afraid, I can sit down and I can record my video. So I hope you will fill this in and start doing the thing that you've set out to do, and that we attain your goals together. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.